What do you love to read?
I love to read historical novels. I do get to read a lot of thrillers because I get galleys sent to me by publishers. But when I'm on vacation, I will read something like a book by Philippa Gregory or Robert Harris. So I think that my own entertainment tastes tend to be away from the genre that I'm working on. It may be because I get sort of tired of crime thrillers after having spent a long day dealing with death and murder.
Are you working on something at the moment? And if so, what have you got to look forward to in your next thriller?
I am working on something that's out of the series. It's going to be a one-off, and it is about medicine in the 1830s. It is, I could call it a serial killer novel that takes place in an era of medical horrors. Back in the 1800s, there were no antibiotics, there was no anesthesia, so you can imagine how terrible it was to get an amputation done. All they could do was hold you down screaming. But in particular, I was fascinated by something called childbed fever, in which women who were pregnant would go into the hospital to have their babies, and within 2 weeks they would have died of a really horrible death. Women were dying so quickly that they were burying them to a coffin. They could not build the coffins fast enough. And the horrifying part of it was that it was the doctors who were spreading this disease. They were killing entire wards of women. So I thought, you know, medicine at that time, in and of itself, is a pretty scary story. If you throw in a serial killer into that atmosphere, I think it'd be pretty gripping. So that's the next book.